In this video, we'll talk about how to add publications to your research faculty directory based on the Symplectic Elements system. There's a link to Symplectic Elements in the research faculty directory, or you can go to profiles.scholars.virginia.edu. You'll be asked to log in via NetBadge, and then you'll be on your homepage if you're a faculty member in the School of Medicine. If you're not, if you're logging in for someone else to claim publications on their behalf, you can impersonate that person. That happens here through this impersonate button. Click on that. You'll get into a list of faculty in your department, or you can search for that person here and click on their name to begin. So now I'm on the home page for Daniel Wilson. I'm going to close that and stop impersonating and work with the record for Andrea Denton. So I'm going to click back here on home. The records here that are pending are those publications waiting for my review in order to claim them as mine or reject them as not. So each faculty member will see a list here depending if the system has found new publications to suggest. Clicking on the Claim Now button will get you to that list of publications. If you're the faculty member, it's probably easy to review these quickly and know whether they're yours or not just by clicking on Claim or Reject. But if you're not familiar, you may need to dig a little bit deeper to determine whether these match. That's possible through clicking on the title. It's a good way to go deeper into the record, into a more detailed record. And you'll notice next to the author names, there's these little symbols that actually look like a little rotunda. Clicking on those will give you two things, the full name and then also any address information that's coming from this article. I can see that the name Andrea Denton matches and that this Andrea Denton wrote this as a nurse in the UK. Our Andrea Denton has not worked in the UK, so I know in this case I need to reject this publication. So I'm going to click this link up top to return to the publications page. And I was actually looking at the second record here. I can then go ahead and reject that record. So for the most part, you can walk through these records one by one, clicking there, looking at the symbol to see if the name matches. You can also click on other information in this detailed record, including the author URL. That'll typically take you into PubMed or Web of Science, where you can see the full author information. So here again, I see it's Andrea Denton. And if I hover over the three, or I ask PubMed to expand those affiliations, I see that they were at this University of Huddersfield. So again, I know that this is one that I can reject. So I'll go back to this back tab up here into Symplectic Elements again and reject this publication. I'm going to stay on it for a minute though and just click the DOI. So one more window is going to open up for me here. And this is yet another place that I can check that authorship and see which person that is and if that matches the Andrea Denton here at UVA. Records that have an ORCID or this faculty profile ID will also help you determine if this is the correct Andrea Denton or not. And again, we can see that this person has been in the UK and West Yorkshire for many years till present, and so that doesn't match our person. So I'm going to go back to my tab with this prevalence survey, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to reject that record. If you have a number of records here and you'd like to delete them or reject them in batch, notice there's these select buttons on the left-hand side, so I can click those. And I can use the reject button up top to do a bunch at once. I can also gather these records. So if I have a number of records, I'm first going to make sure I'm showing all of them at once, or all at least up to 100 at once. I then can use these filters on the right. I may notice that several of these articles are about vessels, and the Andrea Denton here does not write on vessels. So I'm going to type that word over here in the filters in the title. And notice now that I've filtered down out of those 9 possible articles to just 2. I can easily grab both of those with the Select All button and reject them from there. Clearing all filters on the right will bring me back to the additional publications waiting to be claimed. Again, I may notice the word nursing in here several times, and I see that there's a filter on the right for journal. I'm going to type nurse in there, and I'll get 3 out of my remaining publications that, again, I can reject in batches. So I'm going to click here and reject. Once again, I'll clear my filters and get the rest of the publications to review and to claim or reject. After I've done my work, I can go back home, and down in my lower left, I can see the publications that I've claimed and the publications that are still pending. So hopefully that's a good overview of claiming and rejecting your publications in Symplectic Elements for the School of Medicine Research Faculty Directory. Please consult our other videos for topics like when there's way too many publications to claim, or how to add past publications for different institutions or different names that you may have published under.